To gear up for National Women's Health Week next week, we're going to be talking about something all women will deal with: menopause. Think about this. With increasing life expectancy, many women will spend up to 40% of their lives in the postmenopausal stage. And an estimated 6,000 U.S. women reach menopause every day. So to learn how to turn the menopause experience into a positive, individualized one, we are turning to Dr. Stephanie Fabian of Mayo Clinic. Doctor, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
And I'm actually going to start with a very primitive question, which is, when does menopause actually start? Because I have a feeling that we may be surprised.
Well, the perimenopausal transition, and let's talk about what menopause is. So menopause is no period for 1 year, and the average age in the United States for menopause is 51 years. But it may actually be several years leading up to that final period. So there may be several years of a lot of fluctuations and maybe a few missed periods, and your periods may get closer together or further apart, lighter or heavier. You may have some hot flashes. So that can go on for actually a few years before you have that last period. But when you do have that last period and then it's been 12 months, that's when you're in menopause officially.
And so once we're officially into menopause, I know we're going to dive into symptoms and how to kind of deal with them, but how long do those symptoms usually last?
Well, here's the deal. So we used to tell women they lasted for a year or two and you'd be fine, don't worry about it. But now we know, the science tells us, that these symptoms may actually last 7 to 9 years on average. And a full 1/3 of us may have moderately severe symptoms for 10 years or more. So we're not exactly looking for short-term fixes. We need to look at for solutions that last a little bit longer.
So what are some of those major symptoms that women may be dealing with, and how we can actually, deal with them? And like you said, not a short-term fix, but a long-term solution.
So some of the common symptoms that you've heard about are the hot flashes and night sweats. So the hot flashes can be a feeling of warmth or flushing that starts in the neck and goes up, and you can sweat. Those last a couple of minutes typically, and they can happen multiple times a day. Those can happen at night as well and disrupt your sleep significantly. We also have sleep disturbances, so just can't get to sleep, can't really figure out why. Also concerns about weight and gaining weight around the midsection especially can be problematic and frustrating for women. And we also get these mood symptoms like irritability and anxiety, and you don't even know why you're irritable, but those can all really be disturbing to women.
And so what are some of the things that we can do to help with all of these?
Well, first of all, knowledge about what's happening can be very reassuring, and the fact that all women are going through it. So just arming yourself with some knowledge is the first thing. But also, in terms of those hot flashes, there are some lifestyle things that women can do, and those include dressing in layers, using fans, and avoiding some of the triggers that you can identify that kick off your hot flashes. So perhaps a stressful situation, not that we can always avoid those. Caffeine, alcohol, and tobacco, and even hot or spicy foods can trigger hot flashes for some women. But a lot of women have more persistent symptoms that aren't going to respond so well to these lifestyle changes. And hormone therapy can be considered for those women who are having really bothersome symptoms. And for most women in their 50s who are within 10 years of that menopausal transition, hormone therapy is a safe option, and it's very effective. It reduces symptoms by about 90%.
And I know, Doctor, you said the first thing is just kind of being aware and knowing that there are other people that are going through this, other women that are going through this. Is there somewhere where we can go to get more information and kind of look up what kind of symptoms we're dealing with and best ways to deal with them?
Of course. Women can log on to mayoclinic.org for some additional information, and our book is, of course, a great resource for women as well.
Well, I think, like we said, this is something that all women are going to deal with at some point, and some women that are going through this, don't really want to talk about it, or, they kind of feel like they're not sure what's happening with them. So this is a great idea that we have a book and a spot where we can go to get all this information in one spot. So, Doctor, I want to thank you so much for stopping in to talk about this as we're going into next week.
Thank you so much. It was my pleasure.
Absolutely. Don't go anywhere. The Morning Blend. We'll be right back.